Good morning, everyone. Today we are moving on from organizational rhetorical devices into style rhetorical devices. So today we'll be learning about something called epithet. Okay? Now, epithet is a descriptive adjective added onto a noun. Very simple. But there are much more subtle nuances that are involved in it. It can actually help bring the noun to life, and can also help you depict the tone of your paper, or the tone that you take toward a certain subject. It can be as simple as adding a color into the front of a noun, or much more complex by adding a metaphorical descriptive adjective to the front of a noun. And we will show you some examples coming up here shortly. Questions so far? Are we ready to move on?
We are ready to move on.
Awesome. So, first example here. The tall boy towered above his peers. Tall. You'll notice though that it's much more, you can make your sentence much more sophisticated than just adding a simple adjective, like the word towered implies that he was tall as well, right?
Wait, then what about yesterday when you were saying like, let's not use more words to make it like a longer essay?
Yes.
Less words possible.
So, I was saying that as far as words like to, and, as, for, all these other tiny words that you're trying to use to explain something, if you can use one bigger word that means what you're trying to explain, use that bigger word. Right? Thank you for clarifying that, helping me clarify that. As simple as this first one here, or much more sophisticated, the tantalizing clouds hovered above the parched horizon. Yes, right? The horizon is parched, lacking water, dry. The clouds above it were sort of teasing the horizon. Hey, we might rain, we might not. You never know. And I know you're thirsty and parched, right? Is it recording? It is? Low battery. Is it still recording though? Okay, good. Let's go quickly. You're the one writing. Good. Is everybody else done writing? Ooh, I could go back. That's a good idea. Thanks. There are a few subtle nuances that you can use. As I said before, epithets can be literal or metaphorical. And one way that you would use it is to help surprise and delight the reader. Okay? It should be, oh, that's kind of cool. I like that little phrase that the writer put in there, right? It should be something that helps to give your essay a better sense of style, right? Hey, this person knows what they're writing about. And another one of the subtle nuances is that if you use an unusual or distinctive adjective, it can actually help to bring out the point that you're trying to make a little bit better. Understandable? Questions? Yes, no? Awesome. I like Jake's idea, so we're going to move on, and then I'll just go back and put the slides up there for you to get stuff with. That way our videos aren't as long, and you don't have to spend so much time watching it at home. So some of the uses. It can be used as part of an introduction. It can help sort of set up your essay as, hey, this essay will be interesting because this person is using epithets. It can also fit well into the climax of an essay. So right as you get into your main points, you throw in a couple of epithets. I shouldn't say throw in. You carefully place in a few epithets, and it can help make the impact, that climactic point of your essay much stronger. You can also use epithets to dictate tone, as I said earlier. So depending on what kind of adjectives you use to describe something, you can change the tone of what you are saying. We'll move on to some examples now. So first one. So these are a few different ways of describing heat, or using an epithet to describe heat. We might call it murky heat, which implies it's kind of humid and hot at the same time, right? Or blossoming heat, right? It's kind of like the heat in springtime where things are growing. Stupefying heat. It's so hot that you walk around in circles because you don't know what to do, right? So depending on the adjective can help you indicate specific things that you want the reader to understand about the epithet or about the subject that you're writing about. Here is a little bit more metaphorical meaning, or use of epithet, excuse me. The malevolent stars might stare down at you. Or the beneficent stars might stare down at you. Malevolent meaning you might be in a bad mood, so the stars seem evil and angry at you. Or you might be in a good mood, malevolent. Try to combine the two there. Malevolent, bad. Beneficent, good. Right? Bene, good. Mal, bad. Yeah? Benign tumor is a good one. Malignant tumor is a bad one.
Well, no tumor's not good.
Well, yes, but if you have a tumor, you want it to be benign, which means it's not going to affect you. Yeah. Questions so far? Awesome. A few cautions to use. Like all of these, don't overuse it. If your essay is filled with epithets, it can actually make the reader exhausted from too much detail. They've got so many adjectives and descriptions flying into their brain that they're just like, oh, I'm too tired of reading this. My senses are on overload right now, and I need to stop. So don't overuse it. Also, don't use cliched epithets. Something that has been used often. I can give you an example. Something like stunning view. Lots of people say it was a stunning view. Right? Or the joyful laughter. Okay? Yes? All right. And also, ensure that they make sense with what you write. Okay? If you use an epithet that doesn't make any sense, it's only going to confuse the reader, and I'll give you an example of that coming up here now. So, I wandered into the negative desert with nothing on my feet except a pair of muscular sandals. What? What? Right? We have, this epithet doesn't work. Right? It doesn't exactly, yeah, right? It doesn't exactly work for what you are trying to get across. Okay? So make sure your epithet matches what you're trying to say. Questions? Awesome. That's the end of that. Almost. Oh, I've got to dismiss.